Okay, so this video might not be one of those giggly videos. This is more of a video where you really need to understand what I'm talking about. So, if you're watching this, especially the long form one, the full video, that means your spirit team wanted you to sit down and come to my class. So, hi. I am Kayla New York, aka Keisha Grant. So, see, it's not as cool. It's not as cool, but I digress. So, now that I got you smiling, there are going to be people right now in your life, right? Whatever time you're watching this, that I might not be the first teacher they sent to you and who has told you this. There's going to be a reckoning. Does that make sense? There's going to be, especially for some reason, especially now, and the time that we're in now, it's already started. There's going to be reckonings. And you're going to be surprised who gets the reckoning. Um, and I'm going to speak for myself. I'm going to speak about me so I don't push it out to anyone else. For me, right, I did not verbally or physically abuse my children. I did not. However, I was in the house and it was my responsibility to protect them and to make sure they were okay and they were safe with the person I was leaving them with. Does that make sense? So I had a reckoning. Like my reckoning was crazy, but I had to go through a reckoning. There was a reckoning for that. Don't believe that the people who stood by and watched you suffer aren't going to have a reckoning. It doesn't work that way. That's not how this whole thing works. It's not how that whole thing works. And the thing is, there might be times with you that you stood by and watched something happen that you knew shouldn't have happened or shouldn't have gone down that way, and you didn't say anything. You didn't say anything. You didn't say anything in any way, shape, or form, and you knew it was wrong. You knew what was happening, especially to children. You knew what was happening and you said nothing. There's a reckoning for that. There is. There's a reckoning. I went through it. I went through it. And at one point, and I'm going to be as transparent as fucking possible right now. At one point, I was like, yo, I was the good parent. I don't understand why I'm going through this right now. I was angry. And I was like, I don't understand. And this is when I got this download. I got this download then. And it was just like, because you were there. That was your responsibility. And you dropped that responsibility and you knew something was wrong and you didn't quite figure it out until it was too late. That's on you. And I sat there. I remember sitting, fucking face just full of tears and just face just wet and shit. And I'm sitting there and I'm just like, bitch, you not wrong. You're not wrong. You are not wrong. I was there. I had enough power. I had enough responsibility. I had enough weight to instill change. And I didn't do it quite fast enough. I didn't, whether I knew about it or not. When they started telling me the stuff, I I was just like, oh my God. And I was just like, what? And I know there's a lot of stuff they haven't told me yet, but there's a reckoning for that. And I know it. I know it because it's like, just because you weren't the one that did it doesn't mean that you're not going to have a reckoning. And for the people who things have been done to you, don't believe that the people who just watched you suffer are going to be okay. No, there's going to be a reckoning. I'm not going to say they're going to be completely annihilated. I'm not saying anything like that. It's not that. It's crazy because the universe is like, damn, they're like quick with it. Like there's no other way to explain like watching and being one of the people that it happened to, you know, you can't do nothing but be like, you right. You and when you look at how it that's why I don't really try to get anybody back I'm like, go ahead, you can mess with the universe if you want to, but go ahead, see what's gonna happen to you, and I just go about my business. I don't really have time for it, but what happens is it's crazy because you it'll happen and you're looking at it and you don't even realize what you're looking at until it's over. And then you start going, oh, damn, that was because of this. And you realize, oh, I remember when that person did that to me. Is that, and then you muscle test. You muscle test because not everything that happens to somebody else is because of you. It's not always because of you. Sometimes it's because they did something to somebody else. Usually people who do bad to one person, it's usually not just one person. There's usually a group of us, so it's usually not one person. But yeah, so there's going to be a reckoning. So you'll you'll find yourself going, I don't understand why this person's sick. And this is not medical advice. I'm not saying that this is what causes it, blah 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 and all that other stuff, but you reap what you sow. And if you stood by and allowed something to happen to someone, especially if that person is among those people who, I don't like calling them special, but among the people who are changing and has a mission in the planet, that's not good. That's not good. You rather have do something, not saying that you should do something bad. It's not nice. It's easier probably on your karma if you do something bad to someone who really ain't about shit. They're not really gonna do shit. They're not about that life or whatever. But to do it to what they call the chosen one, oh, that's crazy. You're like trying to sign your death warrant. Don't those are the people you don't go after. You leave those people alone. You leave all people alone, but especially those people. But yeah, so there's going to be a reckoning. And you have to ask, muscle test, and be like, if you're looking at something, and the funny thing is, you might still be talking to that person. You might still be in a relationship with that person. That person may be your parent, and you know mine's was, and I was going through it. I was going through the reckoning, and it was dicey for a minute because I was just like, I got to a point where I was just like, what is happening right now? And I lost it, and they were like, and they showed me the movie, and I was just like, damn, you're right. And me, I'm the type where I'm not gonna put this on anybody else. I'm the type of person when I know I'm wrong and I'm getting my licks, I just like, all right, I deserve it. Not deserve it, but I earned it. I earned this ass whooping. Funny, I always have a story. Funny story. I would like if I was going to get whooped, I made sure I had the time of my life, then came home. I'm not. I'm not worrying about coming home. I'm already gonna get my ass beat. I'm already in trouble. So, and there were no cell phones back then. I was already in trouble. So, what? I'm gonna rush home to get in trouble? Nah. I'm gonna stay out and then do what I gotta do, have fun, and then I go. It always had to be worth it. Always had to be worth it. But anyway, I digress. But yeah, so I'm trying to make this as light as possible because it is a heavy topic. Because there's going to be times where you're going to see someone who you're like, but they turned their life around and they're doing better now. Yeah, there's still a reckoning. There's still going to be a reckoning. Yes, they turned their life around. Yes, they're doing great now and they're doing well now. There's still going to be a reckoning. And whatever that reckoning is, you can't choose it. You can't choose it. And you can't like really escape from it. You can't like run from it. It's not one of those things that you can run from. So yeah. So that is that. And I believe that is all I have for that class. So if you have any questions, leave it in the comments. I'll take a look. I do apologize for the for the videos that are like thousands and thousands of comments. I probably won't get to all of those. I'm trying my best to be this new person. So it's like I love you guys. Thank you for all your support. You guys are great. I love the fact that you love my content. I love the fact that you guys are engaging with each other and me. Keep up the good work. Stay blessed. Deuces, and we